I don't know why she does it. Maybe I remind her of someone. But every morning, she does it. She's an older woman, mid-50s at least. She carries herself well, moving quickly but calmly through the crowds. Life in New York is hard. It's harder if you don't have money. I don't have money. I drank it all. My money, my scholarship, my relationships with my parents and girlfriend. I was an angry drunk. I'm a recovering alcoholic. The woman started showing up the morning after I got my 90-day sobriety badge, almost like the universe was rewarding me. Not like I deserve a reward for not doing something, but I am proud of myself. Staying sober is hard. Sure, alcohol isn't meth or heroin. Those things are harder to find. You need connections. You can't find a six-pack of relapses for $10 in any gas station. Music is my life and my lifeline. I play violin in the subway every morning. Not to toot my own horn or tune my own fiddle, but I am good. If you put thousands of hours into something you love, it's only natural that you get good at it. Not that most people notice. As a kid, I thought subway musicians had it easy. They made their own hours, they made their own tax-free cash. I was wrong. Before she started coming, there were days when I'd bring home nothing. Now I always take home at least $100. That's right, $100 a day, 7 days a week. I haven't missed a day, and neither has she. At this rate, she'll be paying me $36,500 a year. She never listens long either. Who pays $100 to listen to 2 minutes of Mozart? My guardian angel. That's who. I just opened my violin case. Now I'm checking the tuning on my Holstein Stradivarius. It's by far the most expensive thing I own and my most prized possession, not counting my sobriety chip. My benefactor always arrives around the same time, between 7:15 and 7:30, give or take. I always make sure I'm in my groove by then. Absolutely no sour notes. I tend to improvise a lot. I don't play the music, it plays itself. I'm just the conduit. It sounds pretentious. Hell, it is pretentious. But it's true. I'm starting with Schubert today. Specifically, I'm starting with Schubert's Trio No. 2 in E-flat major, a somber piece for a somber day. People are walking by the dozen, by the 100, by the 1,000. Almost everyone is bundled up. Some are wearing raincoats and some are carrying umbrellas. Some poor souls are soaked to the bone. There's always a cacophony to compete with, so I play loudly. It's harder on the fingers and the strings, but it helps me stand out in all the chaos. There she is. I always notice her hair first, waist length and gray as a rain cloud. She makes her way toward me, quick and calm as always. She drops a $100 bill in my case, as always. Thank you so much, I say. You've earned it, she says. I don't know how, but I nod gratefully. Would you like to earn more? How? I figure she wants me to play at her daughter's wedding or something. In my mind, I've already agreed. I can't say no to my biggest benefactor after all. Here. She hands me a piece of sheet music. What's this? I ask, as it's a piece I don't recognize. Something special for someone special. In about 10 minutes, a man will walk by. You can't miss him. No one will miss him. He's 6'5", with a tattoo of a large insect on his face. When he's in earshot, and not a second sooner, start playing this piece. I open my mouth to ask 100 questions, but the words get stuck in my throat, punctuation and all. Do it right and I'll pay you $3,000 tomorrow morning. $3,000 tomorrow morning. I nod. Good boy, she says, her smile revealing 2 sets of straight white teeth. She walks away into the bowels of the subway station. I read the sheet music. It isn't much, just a page. I mentally rehearse the piece. It's not too complicated, a lot of diminished fifths. Much more interesting than the music is the motivation. Why would she pay me this kind of money just to play for this guy? Come to think of it, she didn't tell me to stop him or anything. Am I just supposed to play as he walks by? What if he ignores it? Minutes pass. Hundreds of people pass, none of whom appreciate my Chopin Nocturne enough to give me a second glance or a single cent. I think about what $3,000 can do for me. It's about 6 weeks worth of rent. Even shitty apartments in New York are expensive. I see him from a distance. She was right, you can't miss him. I look down at the sheet music in my case, then back at the guy. He has a tattoo of a beetle on his face, just like she said. When he gets within earshot, I start playing. The piece is up-tempo, but it has a sort of eerie tone to it. The man suddenly stops and I nearly shit myself in fear. What if he hates this music for some reason, and she just wanted to piss him off? God, I hope not. This guy isn't just tall. He's big. Big hands, big arms, big everything. A guy this size could snap my violin and my neck like popsicle sticks. He stops and stares at me for a couple seconds. My heart skips a beat, then races to catch up. It's not a hateful stare, though. It looks more like he is remembering something. Then he starts walking again, faster than before. My breath and heartbeat slow down as I finish the piece. holding the last note for an extra measure. As soon as the man disappears into the subway, I decide to call it for the day. I made my $100 and I may have just made $3,000 on top of it. For the first time in a long time, I feel a sudden urge to drink. I push the urge away. Now's not the time to break my sobriety streak, especially if I'm about to come into some cash. I don't want to drink it up and wind up in the gutter again. As soon as I snap my case closed, I hear it. Screaming. Horrified screaming. I dash down into the subway and push past the crowd, and then I see him. At least, I see what's left of him. I don't know why, a man chokes out between sobs. He just laid down in front of it. I feel sick. I feel sick to my stomach. I feel sick in the head. Parts of me I've never felt before feel sick. The next morning, I'm in my spot, just like always. I'm playing the second movement of Tchaikovsky's Violin Concerto when she shows up, just like always. It's one of the saddest pieces I know. I remember playing it constantly after my girlfriend left me. Anyway, she comes right up to me, just like always, only this time she doesn't drop a $100 bill in my case. She hands me a stack of them. You've earned it. What the fuck did you make me do? Did you read the paper this morning? I never read the paper. He was a convicted child rapist. You did the world a favor. Also, you did yourself a favor. It's a win-win. She walks off. I have 100 questions, but once again, I find myself mute. A week has passed. Things are looking up for me. My parents are talking to me again. I'm meeting them for lunch tomorrow. Mom is over the moon that I'm making money and staying sober. A new restaurant opened in Manhattan, a real high-end place, you know. You need a suit and tie to get in. I don't know how, but I landed a gig there. 3 nights a week I play live music. The guy in charge of the place hired me. He heard me playing in the subway, said I had real talent. I hope he's right. A month has passed, a month to the day since the big man with the beetle tattoo laid down on the tracks. Every day I still play in the subway, and every day my benefactor gives me $100. I feel bad accepting it, but I'm too scared and poor to refuse. I have a nicer apartment now. The nicest part is not going through a can of Raid every week. Staying sober isn't easy, especially since they serve alcohol at the restaurant. Not cheap piss beer either. They serve high-end stuff and I get offered free drinks all the time. Most people can have a drink from time to time and be fine. I'm not most people. Neither is my benefactor. There she is, right on schedule. She always looks the same makeup, same earrings, same stride, same long gray hair. She drops 100 in my case, then she takes out a piece of sheet music. I hit a sour note and a few passersby glare at me. What's this? I ask. It's $30,000. Yours tomorrow morning. All you have to do is play this tonight. You'll see a man, old, white, bald. He has a huge beard and he's missing part of his right ear. I take the sheet music. I don't want to, but I'm scared of what happens if I don't. What if I know too much? Also, what if the guy deserves it? Maybe I'll be doing the world a favor. Where is he? He has reservations at your restaurant. I never told her about the restaurant, but I try not to act surprised. What kind of a person is he? The kind who shouldn't be described as a person. He's a murderer. Aren't we murderers? No, we're the people who murder murderers. We make the world safer, and we make money doing it. It's a win-win, Ed Ramscar. I never told her my name either, but I try not to act surprised. 30 grand. Yes, this is a much bigger job. There will be major consequences if you fail. I feel my blood run cold and drain from my cheeks. Not for you, sweetie. Consequences for other people. Your target is very good at what he does. He'll kill again soon if we don't put him down. Put him down like he's an animal in a kill shelter. Will you do it? I can't speak, so I nod. She smiles and walks away. I'm playing one of Bach's violin concertos when he arrives at the restaurant. He's not alone. I never pictured him as having a family, a wife and a daughter. I don't know if I can go through with this. Then I see her, my benefactor. She's sitting on the other side of the room, by herself. She's drinking a Bloody Mary and watching me. She must have known I'd have my doubts. I'm not proud of what I'm about to do, but fear and greed are powerful motivators. I play the piece, lots of diminished fifths like before, but this piece is much more subtle and much longer. I get a few weird glances from people at first. It isn't the kind of music I normally play after all, but the crowd seems to warm up to it. I finish the piece and go right back into Bach. Nothing happens to the man. He orders a drink and his wife seems annoyed. A few minutes later, he orders another and they start bickering quietly. Eventually, she takes their daughter and leaves and he gets up and he goes to the bar. About an hour later, he slumps over. I look around for my benefactor, but she's gone. I learn later that he had liver problems and wasn't supposed to drink. 7 shots of whiskey were as fatal to him as 7 shots to the head would be to anybody else. Almost a year has passed. Almost a year since the man slumped over in the restaurant, and almost a year and a month since the other man laid down in front of the train. So much has changed since then. I've been sober for over a year and a half. My girlfriend and I are together again. She passed the bar exam, and now she makes money hand over fist. We just moved into a gorgeous apartment in Queens. Oh, and that's not all. I'm now a member of the New York Philharmonic Orchestra. I'm literally living my childhood dream. I don't go to the subway anymore. I haven't seen my benefactor in months. It's intermission. I just gave the first half of my first performance with the New York Philharmonic Orchestra. The rest of the orchestra has left the hall. I'm still sitting on my stool, staring blankly ahead. When I see her, I stand up. I want to walk away. I want to be far away from her. I don't want to do this anymore. My phone rings. I look at her and see a phone in her hand. I take a deep breath and answer. "Calm down," she says. Telling people to calm down never works, except it does when she does it. Something about her voice, low and hypnotic. "This is the last thing I'm ever going to need from you, and you're going to do it. Your career, your relationships, your entire life is coming together. Don't ruin it now by turning down this opportunity." I take another, deeper breath to steady myself. "Where is it?" "The sheet music." "There's no sheet music this time. You're going to have to improvise." "Right now?" "No, it has to be before intermission ends, but not yet. They have to get back first." "They?" "Just wait a few minutes. I'll nod when it's time. Then imagine the 4 men who will be sitting in the row behind me, all walking off the roof together. You're going to make a soundtrack for that." "But how?" "Sweetie, it was never the sheet music. It was always you. Do you know how rare a gift like yours is? Maybe 1 person in 100 million has it, or something like it. Finding people with your gift, managing them, that's my gift." But you don't need to worry about that. After tonight, you'll never have to worry about anything. Just play when I give the signal. If you do this right, you, me, your family, will all be set for life. A few minutes pass. My girlfriend and parents are in the crowd tonight. They've just returned to their seats when my benefactor nods. I look behind her, and sure enough, there are 4 men in suits, all older guys. I don't know what to play, and everybody's talking. Will they even be able to hear me? I picture them exactly as they are right now, laughing and smiling amongst themselves, but standing on the edge of the Lincoln Center's roof. Then I start playing, slowly at first, one note gradually bleeding into the next. Then I imagine one of them falling over the side and the music speeds up. The diminished fifth features heavily in this piece, just like the others. When I picture the second one falling, I hit a sharp note and let it ring. The audience is quiet now. Everyone is fixated on me. I picture the third one falling and the piece becomes faster and more intricate, and I feel like I'm what Jimi Hendrix would have been if he played the violin. It's like there's something inside of me moving my hands. I make the strings sing, and as I picture the 4th one falling, I reach an epic crescendo. After the final note fades, everyone who's returned to the hall is standing and clapping. Everyone except the 4 men who are walking out together. I look at my beaming father and cheering mother. I look at my blushing girlfriend. She jumps up and down and yells, "I love you, Eddie." My benefactor is on her feet too. She claps and yells, "Bravissimo." I feel a hand on my shoulder. It's the conductor. Playing during intermission isn't the worst thing that could have gone wrong tonight, but it's certainly a breach of etiquette.
"Great job, son. That sounded amazing, but what was it?"
"Just something I made up."
"You might be this generation's Wagner."
"You think so?"
"Well, sure. Anyone with ears could hear it."